20-hour delayed AEW wrap up from Dynamite, which was obviously on Wednesday night, early hours of Tuesday morning in the UK. Yes, I've actually had to reset this on 4 separate occasions, I think, so far. Basically, long story short, I ended up doing some filming last night in Leeds for something called Leeds Nightlight, Light Night even. And it took me absolutely ages to do the vlog, get the shorts uploaded, put all my stuff on social media, wait for the live stream that I did to be processed, send all that out, yada yada yada. Meshed with normal life, going to work, family, and so on and so forth. The usual stuff that usually affects me, um, and the rest of you, obviously. Hence why the stream is now starting at 20 to 5. I wouldn't expect I'm going to have many viewers because I haven't actually advertised it. Anyone wants to join, obviously, is more than welcome. But yes, I am sorry about that. Dynamite reviews are usually going to be on Thursday nights at 10:30, give or take. Um, but I wasn't able to do it last night because, like I said, I was on location, darling. Well, I wasn't on location. I was just in Leeds City Centre, basically, wandering about filming with my camera, as you do. So, So I'm not expecting a huge turnout tonight, but obviously, if anyone wants to join in, you're more than welcome to do so. Just to say, as per usual, that this will be on YouTube audio, hence it will turn into a podcast, so you'll be able to listen to it hopefully tomorrow afternoon when it finishes getting processed even, and it'll obviously be available as a video as well, so it might be a nice companion piece to maybe SmackDown, possibly, if you want to watch it after SmackDown. I don't know. I also covered that, by the way. So yeah, basically I'll be it'll be available tomorrow to view. Like I said, if I don't get many viewers, that's absolutely fine because it's a very stupid time of the afternoon I'm doing this. It's like on a Friday and everyone's going to be going out drinking, and I haven't actually advertised it. So yes, we'll work what we've got. So yeah, I'll tell you about what's a little bit about what's coming up as well. Because obviously most of you know I do different stuff to wrestling. Obviously I do a lot with these guys, those guys. Um, Liverpool, etc., which I'm not looking forward to, and we'll get to that in a minute. But yes, So Dynamite, I thought it was all right. Spoiler alert: it didn't get a Geek Boy Meta A plus, to be honest. And yeah, it probably wouldn't get any higher than a C plus, so that should give you some indication. So basically, the Ops started first against the Syndicate. It was all right, not the best match I've ever seen in the world. Now, obviously, I missed the AW um, Wrestle Dream because I was away that weekend. Was I away? Yes, I'm fairly sure I was away. Anyway, um, and basically, obviously, when Hangman Page beat Samoa Joe, everyone just thought, well, he's just going to shake hands and go from there. But the Ops actually ended up turning heel on Hangman, and basically, they're now heels now, basically. The match was what it was. It was okay. Ricochet came out and basically went, ooh. If you're listening on audio, by the way, I was just doing the no face. So Ricochet comes out, sort of distracts MVP, who then takes the Coquina clutch from Joe, taps out, the Ops win. So it looks like they're going to be the now new latest push stable in like the millions and millions of stables that we actually have in AEW at the moment. And then Joe basically cut this promo on Hangman, basically saying usual stuff. He was insulting the sports teams in America, saying that Hangman was an idiot and so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. Usual sort of promos and this, that, and the other. So it looks like the Joe Hangman series, I'm assuming, is going to be going on for a little bit while longer. Kind of happy with it because it's a level up from what Hangman's been facing. Because obviously he had a match with think it was Lee Moriarty recently, and Kyle Fletcher. I mean, I like Fletch, don't get me wrong, but I mean, we aren't talking. Fletch will be, like I said, top tier one day, but he's not that at the moment. He's a mid carder at best. So it's nice to see Hangman going through more difficult opposition. I mean, I've said this for a few weeks. He could do with a Will Ospreay or a Swerve Strickland or a Kenny Omega, or preferably three or four of them on the bounce. Maybe even a Darby Allin, just in terms of quality opponents, because obviously his run's been all right, but it's not been great. I mean, Hangman wasn't even there last night. That was the thing. There was so many people who weren't there. There was no Hangman. There was no MJF, obviously, because he's out for a bit. There was no Swerve Strickland, no Will Ospreay. Have I just said Omega? I think I said Omega. Yeah, there's so many sort of top tier talents that they actually haven't got at the minute. It's quite frightening. So I think they could do with a lot of them back, just in order to not feed to Hangman, but just give them a few decent matches here and there. So that was the start of the episode. By the way, if anyone does end up watching, if you're wondering why I keep turning my head away, obviously my subscribers know this. I can't remember all this stuff off the top of my head. So just out of shot is my laptop with basically all my notes that I took, because I wish I was one of these live streaming people that can remember all this off the top of my head. And sadly, I'm not. Swig of water for the working man, by the way. If you hear me constantly going for water, if it's listeners and audio, really sorry, guys, but I have to keep drinking water for reasons. There we go. So, yeah, after that, there was a promo from Darby Allin. I was a bit surprised, actually, because I thought this was going to be the end of the whole them and Death Riders thing, but promo was all right, but it was kind of along the lines of, if you think that's me done with the Death Riders, think again kind of thing. And I was like, oh, so we're going to carry on with Darby Allin. I mean, I suppose it's all right, but I mean, the feud's been going on for what, two and a half months or something like that. And obviously, if you get an I Quit match or a street fight or something like a steel cage, you kind of think that's going to be the end of it. So I was a bit surprised they're going to continue with the feud, but yeah, no, it's fair enough. I do wonder, and this will tie into something a bit later, if Darby may end up either turning heel, or they might turn the Death Riders face. Just for the fact it's been a bit, because he dropped that promo just before Wrestle Dream, and he was like, "There's not a day where I've not thought of joining the Death Riders," and I thought to myself, "Oh, that's a bit weird." But yeah, they kind of left that as a little nugget, basically, and then obviously I'll get onto this, but the Death Riders didn't look and weren't portrayed to be hugely impressed with Moxley's performance later on the evening. So I just wonder whether there might be a little bit of a switcheroo, especially with a lot of these new groups. I mean, now you've got the conglomeration, you've got the Ops, you've got the Don Callis family. I mean, there's just like quite a few stables. I mean, there's that I forget his name, but the someone promotions, Shane Taylor Promotions, I think that's what it is. And then there's quite a few different excuse me. There's quite a few different other factions as well. I mean, obviously you've got the Death Riders as well, so there's got to be what, 7 or 8 stables right now in AEW. Sorry, folks, excuse me. Yeah, so maybe they're going to turn 1 or 2 around. I don't know. Maybe the Death Riders are going to get turned into faces. I mean, I don't even know how you do that. Maybe they disband them, because I think a lot of them could do with going their separate ways. Plus, obviously, if you've got someone like Castagnoli who you can put back in the singles circuit, obviously that helps with people like Hangman, gives them extra people to work with. You could do stuff with Pac. There's easy stories now about Wheeler Yuta coming back as a babyface. I think Marina Shafir, I've actually put this in my notes, I would like to see her target some of the women's wrestlers as well, because I reckon she'd be really good with that belt. I could see her having very good matches against Toni Storm and Mercedes. I mean, maybe Marina doesn't want to do that. Maybe she said before she came in that she didn't really want to work with any of the women or something. I don't know. Whether that's the case, maybe perhaps she does, and this is the way into it. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. So after that, there was the women's tag team tournament for the right to choose the first opponent in the tag team tournament, which is a bit of a strange stipulation, but still, I didn't really understand. Like, well, I mean, surely all the women are going to be drawn against tag team opponents anyway. Shouldn't this be like a draw for like a bye to get through to the quarterfinals and stuff? Yeah, it was very, 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 very odd, very, very strange. Just bear with me a second. Yeah, sorry, not having that on my live stream. Thank you. Yeah, so there was Megan Bain, Penelope Ford against Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata versus Sky Blue versus Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale versus Harley Cameron. Got it, nailed it. There you go. Actually, a really fun match. I thought it was really, really good. It wasn't like the most technically proficient match, obviously, but I thought all 8 women were really, really good at it. It was just a more fun wrestling match than like an entertaining one kind of thing. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Shout out to Willow Nightingale, by the way. She was really, really good in this. I actually think Willow should be pushed quite a bit because she's getting such good reactions from the crowd. It'd be nice to see her maybe. I mean, I could see her against Tony Storm. I don't even know if those two have touched, but I think that would be a really, really good matchup. Maybe Mercedes. I know they've already done Mercedes, but obviously that was when Mercedes first came in. So maybe her against Athena. But I definitely think Willow's got an upside, and I would like to see her getting pushed a bit higher. Obviously, you've got the inbuilt storyline with Statlander as well. That Statlander's now a face, so maybe they can do it as a coming back together thing. I don't know, but I definitely think Willow should be pushed. There was one thing in this match, if you've not seen it, that was really, really cool. So Megan Bain, who I actually think is getting better and better with each week, and obviously she's such a specimen, that woman. So athletic, like she's got all the gifts that you need to be an absolute. I mean, basically, she's another. I don't want to say she's another Jade Cargill, but I mean, well, she's another Jade Cargill, basically. Maybe slightly better than Jade, and that's a bit harsh on Jade Cargill, but obviously she's not had the best start to her life in WWE. But she did this move. I think it was on Aminata and Jamie Hayter, where she basically double suplexed both of them, and it was like easy. It was just like watching. I don't know, like female Brock Lesnar, just literally lift someone up and just toss them over her head. It was really, really impressive what she did. Other thoughts on the match? Obviously, well, Jamie Hayter and Aminata won in the end, and they picked Sky Blue and Julia Hart just because apparently they've been a pain in their asses, according to Jamie Hayter, going all British. I must have missed quite. I've seen them have feuds here and there, but I haven't been keeping up with the whole story, if I'm honest. The Jamie Hayter things, I'm not saying it's getting to a bad period, but she seems to be a little bit creatively stuck, just from my opinion. I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. It's like she's trying to be too sarcastic British, which is a bit weird coming from me, but like she could be very sarcastic British as a personality, but she's not doing it in the right way, if that makes any kind of sense. I don't know how to explain that. Basically, with Jamie Hayter at the minute, I think she's a really, really talented woman, very good wrestler, but there's something that's not. I know she gets a good pop from the audience and everything, but when she did that line, like it just sort of died a death. When she said "Let's have it," and you could see the Americans going, "What's let have it?" That's my really bad American accent, by the way. I won't do that. It, yeah, I don't know. There's just something missing with not with Megan Bain. I completely forgot her name now. Good grief. Jamie Hayter, sorry. Yeah, there's just something missing with her at the minute. And I mean, she's a really good wrestler. I can't put my finger on what it is, to be completely honest. But um, obviously, she's still only young. She's only been in the bit. I mean, I don't know how long Jamie's been in the business, but I guess looking at her, she's about 26, 25, something like that. So she's got plenty of time to get better. But yeah, there was this weird segment. Now I don't know if this was the way I watched it in England, but there was like this really short segment where Mercedes Moné came out, and she was celebrating being the ultra something, or I don't know if this is an American term phrase that I don't know about. The ultra something or other. God knows what it was, but basically she was coming out, brought all the belts out. I actually think the belts are getting a bit. I quite like when it was 6 or 7 belts. I'm not sure about 12, and now potentially getting a tag team title with Athena as well. That seems a bit too overkillish to me. I don't know if that's just me, but basically, long story short, Mercedes comes out, and she's got this table, and there's like a birthday cake on it or something like that. I don't like celebration cake, whatever it is. Anyway, from under the cake comes Mini Mercedes, who is obviously the puppet thing used by Harley Cameron. So she sat there going on to Mercedes. Then Mercedes takes the puppet and like dumps it in the cake, basically. But then from underneath the cake, Chris Statlander appears from out of nowhere. And Mercedes apparently has not noticed Chris Statlander during the whole of this process. I mean, how you don't see approximately 6'1" jacked female wrestler from underneath a table. I don't know. I was kind of like, oh, I'm not, because I missed the start of the segment, so I don't know if the table was gimmicked to look like that, or how long Chris Statlander had been under the ring. I don't know what was done there, but that just seemed a bit like, what are we doing here? So basically, Statlander picks up Mercedes and smashes her into the table and through the cake. Basically, she's got cake all over her face and this, that, and the other. She ends up going backstage. Rennie Paquette has an interview with her. Mercedes is going mental because she's covered in this cake. And then Athena randomly just turns up, as you do, when she's not meant to be on AEW. By the way, as well, for anyone listed on YouTube podcast, just let me know. I really do not understand this business of Athena not being on the main roster for AEW. I mean, she's like one of the best wrestlers, male or female, that they've got. Probably even in their top 10, with just how awesome that she is as a wrestler. Why she's not being utilised on AEW, as in the actual main show, on Dynamite, I pass. I do not know. There seems to be some very, very odd booking decisions with these wrestlers. I do think sometimes that AEW, I know WWE has a lot of wrestlers, obviously TNA does, and New Japan, and most of your wrestling stables, you're going to have, what, between 70 and 80 contracted wrestlers. I mean, AEW must have, I mean, I try to think they must have, I wouldn't be surprised if they've got anywhere between 200 and 250 wrestlers on that roster at the minute. So you've got all them, you've got some wrestlers that can't even get on Collision. I mean, I've heard about the AEW Dark thing, and I mean, there's quite a few who aren't even getting on Dark as well. So I just think maybe they could. I don't see anyone fired, obviously, but maybe pushing some more appropriate people into Ring of Honor who aren't really connecting with the audience might be a better idea, and pushing people like Athena back onto Dynamite, which is your flagship show, might be more appropriate. I don't know. Either way, so it looks like Athena and Mercedes are going to be entering the women's tag team tournament, which all but guarantees they're going to win the damn thing. And Mercedes will be Mercedes 13 belts. And like I said, I do like the idea of all the belts, but it's getting a bit too much. I mean, I hope we're not heading towards the 20s of belts for Mercedes, because that's just going to be really, really daft, to be honest. But we'll see. I mean, I do wonder what they're going to do with Mercedes in terms of her losing the belts. I mean, she's going to have to go on a few tours, presumably, or they're going to get the talent from England or Germany or Austria to come and take the belts back offer. I don't know. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. Maybe they're going to have a few matches with the ladies from Shimmer or CMLL. CMLL. I can never pronounce that. Or maybe just Mercedes goes on tour or it gets stripped of the belts. I don't know, but something needs to happen at some point. So yeah, that was that. Uh, One thing I did think was funny, and again, if anyone can let me know in the comments when the video is processed or on YouTube audio when this comes out as an audio podcast, can someone let me know? Because there were a load of DC signs for was it a video game? I don't know, but like apparently DC has got some random partnership with AEW, which is super interesting to me because obviously John Cena plays Peacemaker. And obviously, I know people have put two and two together, but I looked at all the character posters and I couldn't see Peacemaker from the angle that I was. But like, I do wonder whether there's been a conversation with DC and AEW, like, could we use a Cena picture kind of thing? But then I don't even know if they'd be allowed to do that. But because obviously Cena's contracted with DC. But he's also WWE, but can WWE tell Cena not to appear on backgrounds for AEW? I don't know, but I'd just be interested to see what happens. Right, match of the night, basically, no contest, was Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. So I'm doing this thing at the moment, which subscribers will know about, where I'm going to do like a top 10 list at the end of the year, like a bit of a random fun wrestling awards thing. So I'm working on that at the minute, and one of my categories is match of the year. Kyle O'Reilly versus Jon Moxley, for my money, is very, very close to being in that category. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Just great work from two amazing workers. I mean, I've always liked Kyle O'Reilly, but they definitely need to push him a lot more because he is just genuinely fantastic. I actually think Kyle's a bit of a better heel than a face, to be honest. But yeah, like I said, most of the people that know me doing this for years know I'm not the best at describing wrestling matches, oddly enough. But this one does not need explaining. It was just a technical masterpiece from start to finish. I'd encourage you all to go and watch it. If you just want to see a pure, scientific, makes sense, knockdown, drag out wrestling match with drama, action, and so on and so forth, I would encourage you to watch this match because I think it was about 15 minutes, maybe 12, 13, but it was a banger. So just shout out to Jon Moxley and shout out to Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know if it quite makes it into my top 10 for the year, but it's going to be very, very close because I really did personally enjoy that match. It did lead on to, though, what I was talking about earlier in terms of Mox, because at the finish, basically, Kyle O'Reilly went for his finishing move. I think it was an ankle lock. I can't quite remember what it was. And then Mox gets up and basically just knocks out the referee. And he's like, what? And then the other referee comes running in and said, what are you doing? And Moxley was like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then Moxley basically gets disqualified. And a lot of the Death Riders, if you looked, I don't know if it was all caught on camera, but a lot of them were looking like, what are you doing? Kind of thing. So I am wondering whether they're teasing the eventual split because obviously Mox has been in charge of the Death Riders for... I saw AEW All In 2024 in London, and I want to say the Death Riders started... I don't know if I've got this wrong, but I want to say the Death Riders started maybe a month after that. So we must have had the Death Riders for getting on for, what, a year, 13 months. So at some point, because you don't have factions these days that go on for like months and years and this, that, and the other. So at some stage, you would imagine that they're going to split apart. I just wonder whether the previous night was the tease to Moxley basically being booted out of the Death Riders, because obviously that's twice. Obviously he tapped to Darby Allin, and now they're selling this story that Mox is so traumatized that he doesn't ever want to submit in a wrestling match. And obviously a lot of the Death Riders are going to be like, well, hang on, wait a minute, we're supposed to be this badass group of people. We can't have a leader who just taps out all the time. So I just wonder whether there's going to be maybe a switcheroo, like maybe eventually Darby Allin's the one that takes over the Death Riders. Maybe they bring someone else in. Uh, I mean, obviously, I don't think you could have it being Danny Garcia, or I mean, Pac could be interesting, but obviously he's not going to be as well known as Mox. Castagnoli, he's not right for the role. I think Claudio Castagnoli is one of the best wrestlers in the world, but he just needs to go out. And when he turns face again, eventually he just needs to be like match of the night guy, basically, because that's who Claudio is. I think Claudio Castagnoli is a hell of a lot better as a single than in group. I'm not criticising his work in the group. Obviously, he's been very good, but I don't think he could be a leader of a group. I think if you're going to push Claudio, he needs to be the leader of himself. If you see what I mean, kind of. So yeah, I do wonder whether what they're going to do with that storyline. I mean, I would like to see Mox turning back as a face. I do wonder whether maybe because obviously Mox has been going and going and going. I can't remember the last time that bloke had a break. I would like to see Mox maybe turn face and be gone from the company for maybe 2 or 3 months. I don't know if Mox can grow his hair back, so I don't know if it's going, but I think he's just shaved it in general. I would just like to see him go back to how Jon Moxley / Dean Ambrose look, and just have him come back and just be that baby face that he was at the start when AEW first started. Because I actually think he'd be a lot more sort of deadly now and like convincing, but we'll have to wait and see. But I reckon that's what might happen. Water break. There we go, folks. Sorry about that again. But yeah, like I said, the outcome of all that is obviously Kyle O'Reilly went over, which is a great win for him. Like I said, can I just encourage all of you to watch Kyle O'Reilly versus I was going to say Dean Ambrose, though. Jesus. Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly, because honestly, it was superb. Like I said, it was not far off top 10 match of the year for me. I thought it was bloody brilliant, absolutely fantastic. After that, the other thing I was going to say was Marina Shafir. Right. So, if the Death Riders were to disband or reform in another way, I would like to see Marina Shafir go over to the women's division, and I would actually like to see her win the belt, purely for the fact that, like, obviously she is super talented as as a former MMA fighter, and obviously she's convincing. Obviously, she used to work with Ronda and has had a good career herself before wrestling, and theoretically she's going to be able to spark out or tap out most of the women in that division. I think she'd be really good working against Chris Statlander. I could see it. I'd like to see her versus Tony Storm, her versus Mercedes. I actually think her and Willow Nightingale, because obviously they've had a bit of an interaction as well. I actually think she'd be really good with those sort of bouts. I just wonder whether Marina's basically come in and kind of said, look, I don't want to be with the women, but like I'm a badass. I want to be like in there with the guys. I don't know, but perhaps Marina's not said that at all. Perhaps eventually she'll want to work with the women. I mean, she has before, obviously, but maybe that's her thing. Maybe she's like I don't know, like another China, because I mean, China didn't work that much, God rest her soul, with the lads. Sorry, the girls for the first. China came in '97, so I don't think she really started working a lot of the female roster till 2000, 2001, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, it was something around those times. Anyway, that might not be the case. We'll have to see. Finn does WWE. Hi, Finn. How you doing? You all right, pal? Just checked out your channel. I assume you're a Liverpool fan. I am a Liverpool fan for my sins, Finn. Yes. Yeah, not looking forward to tomorrow, I have to say. But yes, we'll see what happens. I'm just trying to see what else happened, guys. Right, basically, Darby Allin basically ended. I won't go into this too much. Ended up interrupting the conglomeration versus the Death Riders, like massive tag team match that they had. Nah, it was fine. It wasn't anything to, I'm not a I like the conglomeration individually. I like all the wrestlers individually. I just don't get the team, if that makes sense. It just seems, I know the idea is it's meant to be thrown together, um, but like I don't get why it's been thrown together. I'm trying to think of a way of making myself more understandable. I don't know, but yeah. Basically, Darby Allin interfered, and the conglomeration went over. So the Death Riders now are like 0 for 2 kind of thing. So obviously Mox lost in the start, and also the Death Riders lost, like as a team basically. And just to finish off quickly, let me just have a look at Finn again. See, same here. I'm a big Liverpool fan, have been for 7 years. This year is entire years. Oh, dude, seriously, I've been a fan since May. No, July 1990, which will give you a clue as to how old I am, sadly. But yeah, I've been following the Reds for 35, 36 years, and the only thing I'd say, sorry if anyone's listening for wrestling, by the way, but just quickly on Liverpool, the only thing I'd say to a lot of some of the Liverpool fans who have been uh, mistreating Mo Salah this week, shall we say, and I know it's not everyone, but the only thing I would say is that, guys, I went through a period where Liverpool were, in 1993, were about 5 points off the bottom four. As in, this was getting to be a serious concern because we were actually in March, and like there were about 12 games to go. I mean, we finished like fifth or sixth in the end. So, but there was one stage where I was just like, hang on, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then we've had the Gillette and Hicks era when we were like, I think Everton went in front at Anfield, and this is 2011. And at that point, had Everton won, we would have been something like 2 points off the bottom three of the Premier League. So to sit here now as Premier League champions, 4 points off top, won 8, lost 4, which admittedly isn't great, but it's still better than a lot of other teams. League Cup finalists last year, 4th place in the Premier League, with a brilliant manager, with the likes of Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and now we can just casually go and sign Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak. It's like, guys, look, I'm not being funny. It's not the worst thing in the world. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I just think everyone needs to chill out a little bit with it. But I'll tell you more, Finn, about, because I'm going to talk about Liverpool, actually, funnily enough, in a minute. All I've heard this week is sell Salah. I don't want to sell it. Oh, dude, seriously. I mean, I've never heard such nonsense. Last week it was, the week before it was Saka on a slot, and then this week it's like, so sell Mo Salah and he's a disgrace and stuff. It's like, he's out of form. All footballers go out of form. We've seen this with Mo before. He has these. I can't remember seeing a Mo Salah season other than maybe the first one where he didn't have a bad patch, and his bad patch is usually, I don't know, like a month, maybe 3 weeks. I mean, obviously this is going on a bit longer, but like to suggest selling one of our best players to help improve the team, I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, it's just complete nonsense as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I'll get on to football in a minute, too. But just quickly, just to finish off, because obviously people will be listening to that's more on YouTube podcasts and stuff. The last match was, yeah, Okada versus Bandito. That match was second best. It was awesome. Really, really enjoyed it. Not as good as Kyle O'Reilly and Moxley for me personally, but it was a really good match. Bandito is so good, so good. What a wrestler he is! I definitely think he's got a big future. I can see him, not yet, but I could see him in about 2 or 3 years' time, maybe being AEW champion on the men's side. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't know if that's where they're going with it. Obviously, this is for the Unified title. And Okada goes over in the end. It was a really good match. Again, check it out. It was very good. So props to Bandito. But then at the end, Don Callis' family basically comes out, and Takeshita basically came out without the rest of the Don Callis family. So they all came out, And then like Takeshita came out. I don't know if this is his usual music actually, but like he came out with like this blazing music, and the whole crowd just jumped up and went absolutely mental for him. So it looks like he's getting over Takeshita. Obviously, there's the big money match with him and Okada, which has to happen eventually. Again, the same sort of problem with the Don Callis family. Like, I think if it was just for me, if it was Kyle Fletcher, Okada, Takeshita, maybe that Mark Davis actually, I'm quite impressed with him. And just a Josh Alexander, I could kind of understand it, but it's so diluted now. I mean, there's a couple. There was a lad in there the other day I'd never even heard of. I was like, who the hell's this bloke? It was just randomly wandering around the Don Callis family. So, yeah, I just think AEW has been really good this year. I've really enjoyed watching it. There's a couple of bad episodes of Dynamite here and there, but I mean, look, you get that with pro wrestling. Not every single match is going to be great. But I think AEW for quality TV this year it's been really, really entertaining. Totally. My only one gripe are these. I love factions. I love wrestling factions. I always have done. I'm a guy who thinks you should have 3 or 4 in one organization, but AEW there's just far too many, and a lot of them are just far too big. I mean, I don't think the Don Callis thing is quite as bad as the NWO. But because if everyone remembers that from back in the day, obviously the NWO started as Nash, Hall, Hogan, and then they started having like Paul White, who obviously became the Big Show, and you're like, well, that's okay, but not many more. And then they had Virgil, Macho Man Randy Savage. I think Kurt Hennig joined it. I think Luger joined it at one point, and so on and so forth. And it was just loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of different people. I just wonder whether AEW are doing this a bit too much, really. I don't know. I don't know what that means. 442. Sorry. Back to football again. Let me have a look. We've just got a newish team. We've signed a few players, and there isn't a lot of chemistry at the moment. But trust me, if Slot finds the right team with Ekatike, Chiesa, and so on, yeah, dude, you preached and converted, mate. I want Chiesa in the side. I'm so pleased. Sorry, I will finish the wrestling folks in a minute. If you listen on YouTube podcast later when this comes out, so apologies, but I was so happy when Federico got that award today because I actually do agree. I think he's been our best player this month. I think he's been, for as little as he's played, I think he's been in our top 5 best players for the season. I don't really think you can argue with it, to be honest. Now, I mean, he's got 3 goals, 5 assists, and 2 man of the match performances in. If you put his minutes together, what about 4 games worth of playing time? I mean, to be honest, mate, with the thing with Chiesa at the minute, it's actually getting to the stage where Slot. Put it this way: if Chiesa scores tomorrow or against Palace, but in both, I don't know if he's going to play in both, but we'll have to wait and see. If he scores tomorrow, say if Liverpool are like 1-0 down in like 98th minute, and Chiesa comes up and gets his point. Slot's actually going to start looking. I'm not going to call the man stupid because I respect Arne Slot. I love the bloke, and he's given me the best day of my life, and I'll defend Arne Slot still. But it's getting to the point where people are now going to be saying, "Look, Arne, mate, you've got like a guy who is scoring goals, who you're just leaving on the bench." And the thing is with Chiesa now as well, he is fit. I mean, I don't think you can dispute. I mean, I had that little thing with his groin, but the only other thing with Chiesa that I'm just thinking is maybe Arna's thinking right because obviously we're losing Mo to the African nations. Maybe he's thinking to himself, right, I want to make sure this guy is fit because this is going to be my Mo Salah for 6 weeks. Because obviously if Egypt go all the way, there's a 2-week training camp apparently. Then AFCON is 4 weeks. Then you've got like a bit of a rest celebration and so on and so forth. You're talking we've lost Mo Salah for potentially 6 or 7 weeks. Maybe Arna's thinking, right, this is around Christmas time where we've got match after match after match after match. So I want Rio Ngamoa ready. I want Federico ready. I want Gakas ready. when Frimpong's fit again, maybe he's just like, right, I want Jeremy there so that he's another option as well. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, obviously that's a bit of a pain because obviously we lost Jades and Dan's to injury because he would have been really useful as well. But from what I understand about Jades, I don't think he's going to be a short-term thing. I think he's going to be out for a very long time, which is really unfortunate for the bloke. But yeah. Hey, Johnny Lar, you all right? How you doing, mate? On paper, great teams that need to develop a bit more, give the team time. Look, if people think we're bad, we could be Wolves. Yeah. Oh, mate, that's from my region. You don't want to be Wolves. Now, actually, while I'm on, shout out to Wolves. I was actually at Wolverhampton Wanderers the other day. I did a live stream of Molineux. Basically, the reason why I went, I'd gone back home to the West Midlands, which is kind of more where I'm from. West Midlands, dude. So I used to live somewhere called Telford. And I went back to go and see my family the other day. But on the way, I went through Birmingham and did some shopping. But I stopped off at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Oh, yeah. Hey. From Dudley. Good man. So I stopped off at the Wolves. And I went to... what is it? Is the boozer outside the pub? It's called the Leaping Wolf, I think. And reason that I went, obviously, I'm sure you've all probably guessed by now, but like I went to go and see the Jota mural that they've got on the Leaping Wolf, and like there was tears and this, that, and the other. But I just felt as if I needed to go just to like give myself closure, because obviously that's the area where I'm kind of from, and obviously I've been to Anfield and paid my respects and left me flowers and all that business, but yeah, I was just like, seeing as I'm going back home, I need to go to Wolves, and like a lot of the tributes and everything while I was down there were absolute class. So yeah, just I've said this publicly on a few streams and stuff, but just again, just shout out to Wolverhampton Wanderers and the fans. And obviously, I know I didn't appreciate at the time what a big loss he was for Wolves. Obviously, I knew the fans loved him and everything, but yeah, I just, to be honest, I feel bad because I didn't really give them much consideration. I was just pure Liverpool and like heartbreak for his family and so on and so forth. But the show of love from Wolverhampton Wanderers was, yeah, just absolute shout out to them. Great. Let's have a look. Leeds are falling apart again. Oh, Johnny La, bloody hell. I actually read that out in a bunch of people. You nearly got me beaten up, mate. When I was walking, I don't know if you sent it when I was walking along, but I suddenly realised I just read it out, and I turned around. There was these four fellas all with bloody Leeds United scarves, and I'm just like, oh, shouldn't have read that out there, should I? So I had to like dart up this bloody alleyway somewhere. So, yeah. So, yes, by the big Tesco around the area. Yeah. Yeah. I know where you are, dude. Can you play Joy Division? Love will tear us down apart from my friend Ellen Brooke. Yes, very good. Thank you, John. Well, just quickly, folks, just to finish off the AEW thing, and I'll go on to some other stuff. Just to say, for the Dynamite show, I'm going to give it a B. I thought it was a decent show. Nothing spectacular, nothing out of the ordinary. But also match of the night. Again, I don't care if you're a wrestling fan of WWE, AEW, whatever. Please go and watch. Excuse me. Please go and watch Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. 10 out of 10. Absolute knockout. One of the best matches I've seen this year. Brilliant. Which may also be in my top 10, which I intend on doing because I'm going to do, like I said, a end of year wrestling awards show, which, considering how many wrestling fans now follow me, that could get very, very entertaining, to be honest. Yeah, if anyone wants to leave a comment, non-football comment, about what your favourite wrestling match is, obviously use the channel. And yeah, at the moment, this is going to be very controversial, but my favourite wrestling match of the year is Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. And when people hear this on YouTube podcast, I will let you argue that amongst yourselves, because I can't imagine that's going to go down hugely well. Anyway, yeah, that's about it from AEW, folks. Let me just read you. Yeah, thanks for laughing, Johnny. Cheers, man. You could have got me killed, lad. No, it's fine. It's fine. Well, mate, the one thing is, I hope I hope I'll be laughing in about a month, because obviously you're all right where you are, mate, but I've got a very awkward month coming up in Christmas, because not only do we play the locals on the 6th of December, literally about 5 minutes down the road where I am, we're also playing them on the 30th of December. And that happens to be when me and the lads usually go out for our festive, well, I will swear for once, our festive piss up. And most of my mates are Leeds United fans, so I'm not sure how that's going to work in terms of being respectful. I think if Liverpool were to give Leeds a doing, which, looking at Leeds, I'm not sure at Ellen Road, but like I could see at Anfield them getting a bit of a doing. I think from myself, a polite clap at the goals, very discreetly, would be the best of ideas. By the way, I can't guarantee this, but I'm hoping I've got a few friends in high places. I may be able to go and see the Leeds match that is not a million miles away from my house. Obviously, I will have to go in some sort of disguise and a fake moustache for obvious reasons, because I don't think I'll be able to get tickets for the away end. Although, apparently, I might be able to get some for the away end. I think it's Seat Loader. I've used them before. That's not a plug, by the way, but yeah, I've used Seat Loader before, so hopefully there's an outside chance that I might be able to go. Either way, I do have a very cunning idea and a plan for that evening. It's not the most sensible idea I've ever had, and I have told my missus, and she wasn't hugely keen on said idea. Put it this way, there might be some post-match reaction from somewhere that looks very familiar to the ground, but I would have to leave it until very late night for obvious reasons. There you go. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, I might not do that one, so yeah. Finn does WBE. I remember that day I was at school and my friends went up to me and said, Jot died at school. First I laughed, I don't believe it, but looked for myself, I burst out crying. Me and my teacher was saddened. Oh, dude, seriously, it was yeah, it broke my heart, Finn. Absolutely broke my heart. I've got I can't show it at the minute because I've got quite a big bedroom where I am, but I'm on the opposite. In fact, I tell you what, just give me 1 second. So that's my Liverpool area. Let me just, I don't know if you can see. There you go. I think it's in shot now. So that's all my Liverpool area basically, and that's where I keep all my Liverpool stuff. And just there should be Diogo's shirt. Basically, I wrote that out when he died. I've left one of them at Anfield, and just over there, hopefully it's in shot because I can't see from the other way around. That's the message that I put on the window for Diogo, and I've taken it upstairs. I've got like a photo sort of down there somewhere as well. I've got a joypad for him. Yeah, I mean, I know it's not brilliant or anything, but I just wanted to do something as like a little bit of a tribute, basically. So I know it's not much, but like, yeah, it honestly, it broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart. Yeah, excuse me, still struggling with it a little bit now. Obviously, it gets easier as time goes on, but yeah, it absolutely broke my heart, mate. Yeah, it was absolutely devastating. I couldn't get up on the weekend because I was actually here. But I went for the Bilbao pre-season friendly, that the one we played like 2 games. I went there, and obviously I've done vlogs and stuff. But I had like a little private moment where they did it, where all flowers were at the time, and after Diogo had passed and Andre had passed, and it was very humbling. It was horrendous, but I don't want to say it was good, because obviously that's hugely disrespect. I don't mean good, obviously, but it was quite cathartic in respect of I was able to put a shirt down, which I'd put a message on. I'd actually wrote him a message as well, attached that, and then I left it there. Basically, I'm not going to lie, I'm not one of these lads, but burst into tears. Couple of scousers were like, "Don't worry, mate," and this, that, and the obviously shout at them. And then yeah, I went to go and watch the game, and I sang my heart out for the bloke, and had a few drinks for him on the night, and it was just it was brilliant. But yeah, as always, shout out to Diogo, Forever 20. You know what I mean? I've got that feeling fake. It can't be real. What happened, really? Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Diogo as always. Right, guys. So speaking of Liverpool, so Johnny will be used to this, and the rest of my subscribers, but I'm going to do my usual. What have I got coming up next? So if you are a subscriber, honestly, it's fine. You can just fast forward over this bit. But basically, right. So, the usual sales pitch. Like I said, if you look on my channel, you'll see that I don't just do pro wrestling. I've got 5 or 6, 7 playlists, whatever they are. So, I've got Geek Boy Does Liverpool, Geek Boy Does Football, Geek Boy Does Pride, Geek Boy Does Horror, Geek Boy Does Comic Cons, Geek Boy Does Toy Hunts, and also, oh, thank you, Fid. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that. Thank you. That's very, very decent of you. Guys, mate. Cheers. Thank you very much. And I do, what's the other thing? Oh, I've recently added a channel because I don't know. Oh, actually, I've got my pendant here. I'm half Ghanaian, and I should be wearing this actually. This is my Ghanaian pendant. Yeah, that's my dad's actually. But there you go, Ghana. Reason why I'm showing you that is I've just added a new section called Geek Boy and Ghana. Yeah, nice haircut. Yeah, I wish I had some hair, dude. No, I have got hair, but basically, because I'm getting older now, and my 12-year-old son finds this highly hilarious. Basically, I've got all my hair, all my Afro-Caribbean hair, but there's this like little triangle bit that doesn't grow for some stupid reason. My son has now said, "Daddy, you've got a hair like a pizza slice." So it's now the pizza slice haircut. So wherever my hair gets darker, unless I want to have my son taking the mickey out of me, I have to shave it. Otherwise, he runs around the house going, "Pizza slice, Dad, pizza slice, Dad." So yeah, the joys of having kids. Yeah. Why was I telling you about that for? I've got no idea. Oh yeah, so those are all the playlists, but the latest one I've added is Geek Boy and Ghana, because like I said, I'm half English, half Ghanaian. And a lot of it's to do with Ghana as in the football team, Ghana Black Stars, so obviously Semenyo and Antoine Semenyo, Kudus, Jordan Ayew, and all the other Black Stars. Basically, we've just got to the World Cup, and it was really emotional for me because basically I lost my dad, who was half Ghanaian, many, many, many years ago, and I wish that I could watch the World Cup with my old fella, but obviously I can't do that, so it's kind of a tribute to him and stuff. And basically that playlist, I just tell a few funny stories about going back to Ghana and going to Accra, and watching Ghana. The very awkward time Ghana played England, which I'm going to be telling a story about shortly, actually. That was slightly awkward for your boy, to say the least, for obvious reasons. But yeah, so that's a new section I've got. And then I do podcasts on Geek Boy, a movie story. So obviously that's films. Geek Boy, a Liverpool story, which is my Liverpool podcast. And Geek Boy, a wrestling story, which this will end up on today. So any time I do a wrestling thing like this, it ends up on Geek Boy Wrestling Story. And yeah, that's what I do basically. So if anyone's interested, wants to like and subscribe, you can do. Look, guys, if you just want to listen to me whenever I'm on, or watch, or do whatever, and just like a few of the videos, and you don't want to subscribe, no pressure, it's absolutely fine. Not a sales pitch at the end of the day. If you do want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. But like I said, if you just want to come and chat on wrestling, I have no problem whatsoever. Or if you want to chat during a wrestling live show about Liverpool, or if you want to talk about horror films or anything like that, I'm always happy to chill out and talk to like-minded people. So yeah, whatever. By the way, speaking of horror, if you're old enough, by the way, watch Weapons. It's amazing. Anyway, right, coming up, so I'm going to be on tomorrow, so Finn will probably be quite pleased with this. I'm going to be on at, what time am I on? 11 or 11:30 for post-match reaction to Brentford versus Liverpool. I say 11 to 11:30 because obviously subscribers will know this, and I'm sure they'll find it highly amusing. It all depends on what time Mrs. Meta basically goes to sleep, because I have to use the downstairs to do like the live reaction, because I can't use the upstairs where I am now because everyone in the house is asleep, so I get shunted downstairs. Anyway, it depends what time I can politely ask Mrs. Meta to vacate the premises. So it'll be between 11 and 11:30 tomorrow. So yeah, I'll be doing post-match reaction to Liverpool Brentford. Bit more confident than I was the other day. Obviously, it was a fantastic win for the lads. I mean, if you'd offered me 5-1, I would have ripped your arm off for it the way we've been playing. So, very, very pleased with that. Brentford, I had been worried about for a few weeks. I wouldn't be adverse to a draw, if I'm being quite honest, if someone offered me a point at Brentford Community Stadium. I probably would take it, to be completely honest, just to get us a point. By the way, another shameless plug. I actually went to Brentford to see Ghana versus Nigeria, and that vlog is available at Geek Boy Meta as well. By the way, it's Geek Boy Meta 7381 if you want to subscribe. But yeah, went to Brentford Community Stadium, saw the match there against Nigeria. I'm not telling you what the score was. Bloody Nigeria. But yeah, that's on there as well if you want to check it out as well. There's loads of different wrestlings where I've been to AEW, I've been to Wembley Stadium twice, I've been to the WWE Sheffield show and the WWE Leeds show recently. There's loads of me going to Anfield. There's 4 or 5 match vlogs, I think, on there at the minute. What else? There's loads of me going to Comic Cons, loads of toy hunts, loads of different things, and yeah, there's just loads and loads of stuff on there basically. Speaking of quickly Liverpool, obviously I told you guys the other day that I can't go to the Crystal Palace match, sadly, because of like various family commitments and work and so on and so forth. There is an outside chance, as I say, I could get to Leeds. I should be going to the Carabag match. I'm going to discuss that with my vaunted brother when he's finished enjoying his lads' weekend. Shout out to the bro. There is an outside chance I could make it to Anfield before Christmas, potentially for the Sunderland match, but I can't promise anything again because I don't know. Work, Christmas leave, family commitments, and so on and so forth. But I'm definitely going to the Carabao match, and I'll be going to the Legends match as well. That I usually go to with my son, and we'll do like a whole weekend in Liverpool. Hopefully, if we get a good FA Cup draw. By the way, as well, I'm going to be doing a live stream of the FA Cup draw, which I want to say is in 5 weeks' time. So that's when we first go in. It'll be about 2 weeks before Christmas. I'm very much hoping we get like, I don't know, whole city at home, ideally. Also, I don't mean that rude to Hull, obviously, but it was the first name that popped out of my head, or Colchester at home or something like that, because then that gives people like me chances to actually get into the ground. But yeah, hopefully I'll be seeing the Reds. I'd be disappointed if I didn't see them 4 or 5 times before the end of the season, because I usually only get to see them twice. And I've usually got to pay hospitality, which I can okayishly afford, but not. Obviously, I can't be doing hospitality for every single game because it would cost more than the house that I'm living in at the minute. So I'm hoping to get to at least 4 or 5 matches this season if I can do. But I'll let you guys know when I can. Who's your favourite wrestler? Oh, right. I'm going to give you 3 answers, Finn. My favourite, seeing as we're on, technically this is meant to be the AEW like podcast that I'm doing, but my favourite AEW wrestler is, actually, I was going to say Swerve Strickland, but it's probably Will Ospreay. I'll just say Will Ospreay. If it's WWE, and I know this is like contradicting myself, CM Punk, which is very awkward being an AEW fan, obviously. If you're talking my favourite wrestler of all time is Stone Cold Steve Austin. And as technically a fourth category, my most respected wrestler, because Austin's my favourite of all time, but like my most, who I think is the best wrestler of all time, is Shawn Michaels. So I suppose favourite current wrestler, Will Ospreay, just all-time favourite is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and most respected is Shawn Michaels. So in terms of who I think the best wrestlers in wrestlers, promos, everything, is probably Shawn Michaels, to roundabout way answer your question. WWE Raw came to Birmingham a few months ago. I really wanted to go, but I live in Dudley, but the cheapest. But oh, dude, seriously. Oh, hello. ILLDENOAC. I'm just going to call you Den Dude. Hello, sir. How you doing? I have no clue about wrestling, but glad you enjoy it. Oh, I love wrestling, mate. Absolutely love it. Not as much as Liverpool, but I do love wrestling. Oh, like Finn, mate. Seriously. So I took my son and my wife to what am I trying to say, to WWE Leeds about it was when they were doing the European tour about a couple of months back, and my bill, and we were halfway up, we weren't at ringside or anything. My bill came out as £270 for a 3-hour wrestling show. Now, to put this into context, when I took my brother when he was a little lad, and I think my mum came with me, for free tickets it was £120. So how WWE can justify £150 like increase? I have absolutely no idea. But there we go. From Liverpool, good man or good lass, good man, good lass. I don't know. Are you a red? I'm guessing you're a red. You let me know. Right, so yeah, the other thing I was just quickly going to talk about was, so my schedule for like the rest of the month. I'm actually the only Scouse who doesn't like footy. Oh, dude, that's fair enough. That's fine. That's fine. Not a problem. Like I said, I have loads of different interests on this channel. Like I've just literally said, I'm a massive. Well, actually, you can see a massive toy collector. Those are all my toys. Yes, I am 45. I don't care. I love toys. I've got all my horror stuff there. So I've got like a horror bit of my channel. I love going on toy hunts, comic cons, supporter of Pride. I love going to football stadiums as well. I've got a football section of. I know you're not interested in football, mate, obviously, but I like going around the areas of grounds, if you see what I mean, because I can go to different cities in and around the country. Like I love Liverpool in general. I would happily come to Liverpool just for a weekend, just to go and see people, because I honestly, mate, I'm not just doing a buttering up job. It's by far my favourite city in England. And the stupid thing was, as a Liverpool fan, I used to just come to the games and then I go straight home. And I don't know why. I never. It wasn't because I didn't want to search around Liverpool. I was just like, oh well, I better go home now, kind of thing. And looking back, I don't know why on earth I didn't explore. But the last 3 or 4 years when we've been down to Liverpool to watch matches, honestly, it is just such a class city, and I cannot believe how nice people are. Genuinely, absolutely lovely people, and I've got so many mates who I've got now on Blue Sky and stuff, and friends who are like Scousers and from Liverpool, and like whenever me and my family go up, like people are they're so nice. They can just about understand my West Midlands accents as well, which is useful. But no, honestly, mate, it's such a class city and just the most humble, nice people. Yeah, there's a few idiots there, obviously, but it goes without saying. But I mean, we've got idiots here at the end of the day. So, yeah, and you get them all over the country, do you? But I mean, genuinely, mate, that Liverpool is just. I mean, I would happily go. I don't think my missus would be hugely pleased about this. I would happily go to Liverpool for a week's holiday, genuinely, because like whenever I go, it's like you get 2 or 3 days. So I usually go for the match because I usually go with my brother, and then get a hotel, and then we'll explore around Liverpool the next day. And sometimes we'll get to like the, I don't know, a third day or something like that. And genuinely, you can never do all the bits and pieces. I mean, there was one day I literally spent at the docks, and I meant to like go somewhere else, but I literally spent about 7 hours, because obviously you've got like the Beatles statues, you've got all like the monuments and stuff, you've got the museums that are class and everything. And literally I ended up spending 8 hours on the docks, and I was just like, I was meant to see the rest of the city, and this is all I've done. But yeah, no, dude, honestly, it's such an absolute class city. Absolute class. Let me have a look. Are they worth a lot? Oh, my toys. Uh, some of them. I'll see if I can reach one actually. This is the bit where they're all full on my head now. I won't say a lot, but like, this is stuff that I collect. For example, like I said, I'm a massive horror fan. Don't know if you could see that. That's my Jason, as in Voorhees from Friday the 13th. I absolutely love Friday the 13th. I'm absolutely obsessed with it, because Jason Voorhees is my favourite bad guy. I'd say most of those, mate, on there are gonna be about anywhere between 30 and 60, something along them lines. So I've got like a load of like premium statues. I've got Marvel Legends, NECA figures. What else can I show you? Oh, that's one that's fallen on the floor. There you go. Don't know if any of you like Street Fighter. That's my Chun-Li. Really like that. Oh, actually, I've got some stuff next to me. Let me show you. There you go. More horror. That's Jigsaw from Saw. What else have I got? Oh, I've actually got loads of stuff next to me. Oh, this is turned into a toy hunt video now. Got Godzilla. In fact, if Liverpool lose tomorrow, that's me. What else have I got next to me? I've got stuff like this. I've got X-Men Sentinel. That's one of my favourites. And I've also just recently got, speaking of Godzilla, got one of them for the Forbidden Planet. So yeah, mate, basically, long story short, yeah, about, I'd say, give or take, I don't want to give how much I've got up here, in case there are some rather naughty people who work out where I live, because I don't want my house being robbed. If you were to suggest what's in my bedroom would equate to the average yearly wage of a admin person in this country, you wouldn't be a million miles off, and I'll just leave it at that. It's more than a couple of quid, put it that way. Let's have a look. In Landudno, hope I said that right. They have a Saturday market that has a lot of retro toys. Oh, dude, seriously. Tell you what, because I think we're going to Wales, me and my mum and my brother. Let me just write that down, because I've actually got my laptop here. I'll write that down, mate. So like I say, I like going around the country and going to different places. So no. Sorry guys, just give me a second. I'm actually live typing on the live stream. Market retro toys. Cool. Cheers to the recommendation. Thank you very much for that, mate. Let me just have a look. Opinions on Jay. Oh, this is Finn again. Opinion on Jay versus Punk for vacant world title. Oh, dude, I'm Team Punk. Like I said. Oh, speaking of which, I'll see if I can grab him. There you go. That's one of my prized possessions now. Yes, I know I'm an AEW fan, and this is like quite inappropriate for AEW fans, but like I said, I love all wrestling, and I'm just like, I'm not getting involved in tribalism with stuff. But that's one of my favourite ones that I picked up recently. There you go. Opinion is, I really want Punk to win the belt again, and then just drop it before. During the Royal Rumble, and then he gets his big moment at WrestleMania when he wins the belt back. I don't know who Punk's going to face now. You've got the Rollins injury. However, my actual opinion is I think Jey Uso will go over. I don't see a world where Punk wins, to be honest, because I've got this theory that they're just going to keep screwing Punk over, pardon my language, until he gets to WrestleMania, and then he has that big moment where he lifts the belt over his head. Um, but I mean, that was the plan before Seth Rollins got injured. Now, if Rollins is injured, and I don't know whether that was the plan to keep the belt on Rollins until Mania. I mean, maybe Punk can just be the champion that gets them through to Christmas, and then, like I say, lose the belt. Um, I mean, the other option is if it is Jay, obviously that's going to cause a huge amount of tension with him and Roman Reigns. Maybe they work a program together, or do the Bloodline all turn on Punk? Does Roman turn on Jay because he doesn't want him to win the belt, or does Jay turn on Roman or something? So at least they have got an option of different pathways where they can go and stuff. I am actually quite excited about. Then the other thing is now you've got Braun and Bronson Reed running around literally like unsupervised, if that's even the right word, and they can literally just go out and like absolutely go and batter people. So maybe Braun and Bronson get involved. Maybe they turn on both men. I don't know. But it's exciting anyway. Speaking of which, by the way, this is a really shameless plug. I will be covering Saturday night's main event, not this weekend. It's next Saturday, surprisingly enough. I think it's on at, I want to say it's 1 o'clock in the morning UK time. So I'm gonna try and stay up for that. However, I was going to say this in my schedule thing for you guys, but basically next Saturday I have ultimate chaos. So I've got my lad's first birthday, not his first birthday, but basically my lad's managed to wrangle it so he gets 4 birthdays. He gets one with his mates, one with his nan and his brother and his uncle, one with me, and then one with his mother. How he's managed to, and his actual birthday, how he's managed to do that, I do not know. Bloody kids these days. Only joking. What am I reaching for? Yeah. Anyway, the reason I'm telling you that is, it's my lad's birthday. Then I'm leaving him to go to one of my best mates' birthdays in Morley, which is a small town in Leeds. Shout out to Steve. Then I'm going from that to see Liverpool versus Aston Villa during the birthday, but then I'm coming back to the birthday, and then I'm going to get from Morley back to where I live in Leeds to supposedly watch Saturday night's main event, and then to live stream reaction with you guys, presumably slightly not sober, at about 3:30 in the morning. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that one. That could be a very interesting thing as well. In terms of live reaction to the Villa match, I would probably suggest it might just be a wrap-up video, because that could get very messy. Anyway, I'll let you guys know as to. Is that Anfield Stadium you head to? It is, pal. It is. The city centre has a lot to do, especially Albert Dock. So many nice places. Oh, dude, like I said, honestly, it's so. It's honestly. I really want to go to what's it called? Is it the Baltic Triangle down there? I've still not bloody been, and I've been going to Liverpool for like years, and I haven't been there. And is there someone called Victoria? Is it Victoria Square or something like that? Basically, last time I went to this boozer called the Reds Bar, and it was I don't know what street. You obviously you'll know better than me, mate, but it was like a bit further up in Liverpool city centre because I'd never been that far. And then I realised that linked down to the docks because obviously we were always sort of L1 side because we usually get Premier in at like Albert Docks, or we'll stay at the Moorfields one or wherever it is. But I've just been exploring the city loads and loads more. I'd like to go, whatever happens, I want to try and go for one last visit this year if I can, even if I can't get Liverpool tickets. So, I mean, I might even be able to go, funnily enough, I might be able to go next week, actually, because I've actually got half term. But yeah, no, I definitely want to go again. And then, like I said, I like coming to Liverpool at least 5 or 6 times a year. And I don't want to be rude to my home city, but I'm always gutted when I come home. I really, really am, just because I like it so much. But yeah, no, it's cool. Finn, I'll just say you are bang on the money. Keep it to yourself. It's located in the Oriel Art Gallery. I'll just ride around. Oh, cool, nice one. Let me just go back through things. Oriel what was it? Oriole art gallery. Cool. Thank you very much, mate, for that. I will add that because, like, you can't see obviously, but on my laptop I've got like a load of different places and stuff that I go to. So I've just added it now. So if I'm down there, yes, I would definitely take you up on that. Absolutely. Oh, let's have a look. Assad Balok. I'll just call you Assad. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, by the way, my friend. Do you think Edge will be seen as last apart? Oh, I tell you what, that is a shout, Assad. I mean, so I think about this. Look, I'd say Assad, it's very, very unlikely because, as far as I'm aware, at least Copeland, because obviously he's Cope now in AEW, is still contracted to AEW. However, he left AEW with Christian, and I think it's to go and film. What's the TV thing he's in? Is it Percy and the Light? I forgot what the hell the damn thing's called. Percy and the Lightning Gods, or someone let me know in the comments. Anyway, it's that whatever that Percy Jackson. That's the one. I think he's gone to do like another series of that, but could it be a work? He goes to WWE. Let me think. Right. He left AEW last month. So you're talking mid-September. There's a 90-day compete. September, October, November, just. I think he'd just be over his 90 days. To be honest, I said I'd never actually given that a moment's thought. To be honest, I mean, I suppose I like I said I wouldn't have thought so, but I suppose it's possible. But I mean, unless there was some sort of handshake deal with WWE and AEW, and with the way they've been trading barbs, especially with WWE doing the counter programming business at the moment, I cannot see that being the case. I mean, I could be completely wrong. Who knows? Because I think AEW's let some talent go and do WWE stuff. I think there might have been one person, maybe a couple. I don't know, but yeah, no, I think it's a good shout, dude. But I'd say it's very unlikely. But you never know. You could be right, my friend. You could be right. Let me have a look. Do you watch WWE? Because personally, I'm WWE over AEW any day. Oh, dude, that's fine. It's your opinion. That's fine. To be honest, Finn, I just love watching wrestling. So I try and watch. I'm trying to watch a bit more TNA because I used to watch TNA all the time back in the day. I went to all the house shows in England. I think I've seen TNA 7 times in Manchester. I've watched WWE, to be honest, mate, since 1990. So you're talking, this is like, um, I mean, this is like Million Dollar Man, Jake the Snake Roberts, Undertaker, Legion of Doom sort of time. Yes, I've been a fan of theirs for years. I fell off with WWE, if I'm being honest, around. It was around the time Rock and Austin both left, and they had that ruthless aggression era, and I know that's a lot of where people got into it from this generation and kids and whoever, younger people, way younger than me, obviously, like now. But at the time, because I'd been used to seeing like the Attitude Era, which I'm sure you've been told about and seen for yourself, I used to watch. I used to watch Shawn Michaels, DX, and so on and so forth. And then I'm seeing. I don't want to use a person's name because it's disrespectful, but I'm seeing new wrestlers who, in my opinion, weren't quite as compatible as they were. Put it that way. And then I started watching WWE again, basically more or less when Punk came in. I think it was when he was going for the IC title against William Regal, and then they gave him the world belt, and then obviously he did the pipe bomb, and then been watching it since. Like I said, dude, it's your personal opinion. That's fine. But I do like AEW. I thoroughly enjoy the wrestling. I don't think it's what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say entertaining because I am entertained by AEW. I'm entertained by WWE for different reasons. I don't think AEW at times is. I don't even know if consistent's the right word. I don't know if it's as well thought out at times as WWE is the only way I can think of describing it, basically. But yeah, no, I watch both, mate, and yeah, like I said, I'm starting to get into tier now. I try and watch New Japan Pro Wrestling whenever I get a chance as well. If I had the chance, I would love to just be paid to watch pro wrestling like all day, which uh keep it to yourself. That's kind of the idea. So hopefully I can get to do that one day. But yeah, no, I just love watching wrestling in general. I actually went to a UK wrestling show in the summer called UK Pro Rev, so Pro Revolution Wrestling. Uh, cheap plug. That's also available on Geek Boy Does Wrestling in the place. Um, and yeah, that was British wrestling, but I ended up seeing Trent Seven, who used to work for WWE, grizzled young vets who work AEW. Who else was in it now? Robbie X, who does AEW as well. I think there was another lad who worked for WWE. I can't remember who it was now. Michael Echo, who's probably the best British wrestler in the world. Um, Maybe not as good as Will Ospreay, but yeah. But like I said, I'll watch all wrestling. Dude. I'm actually going to go back and see them. I'm just waiting to get paid. I'm going to see the house show in Sheffield. So there might be a live thing that comes out with that as well. So just bear with us on that. But yeah, no, I just love watching all wrestling, dude. Punk being screwed over. Wow, what's about LA Knight? Um, yeah, yeah, because I mean, technically, obviously, LA Knight, like you said, mate, was in the whole storyline with Jey Uso and CM Punk, and obviously he's just lost the Battle Royal, and it's like, well, what's LA Knight doing that? Yeah, that's a shout. It could be a shout. I would, to be honest, I was actually thinking about this because I want Punk to have his moment at WrestleMania. I'm not so bothered if he's the champ now, if you see what I mean. I'll still be pleased, but like, I was really hoping that, like, when Seth got injured, I was hoping someone was going to say, like, look, can we just put the belt on LA Knight? It's like, look, he does deserve it. I'm not saying I want him to be champion forever and a day, but I'd be very disappointed if LA Knight gets through his whole WWE career without um getting one of the world belts because I think out of all the people there, you have to say the bloke deserves it. I mean, I remember when it was Eli Drake in TNA, and I used to think he was quite decent then. Yes, he is. He is. He is from Liverpool. That is correct. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. He was actually really good. Trent Seven there as well. Very, very good wrestler. Um, what was I talking about? Yeah, I definitely think that LA Knight deserves a shot at it. I'm not saying for that, like, I don't think he should have the title for like years, obviously, but it's like, dude, just give him it for a couple of months because I mean, out of all those lads, he really does deserve it, in my opinion. Yeah, cool. Right, just quickly, folks, I'm going to finish up because I've got other bits and pieces to do tonight. Like I said, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks, Finn. Thank you very much for subscribing, and obviously thank you for chatting with me. I really, really appreciate it, mate. Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. And the man called Den, who I'm just going to call Den. Thank you very much for telling me about Landudno, and yeah, it's written down, and I will definitely be coming to your awesome city to see my slightly less than awesome football club at the minute, and I'll just come in general because, like I said, I love Liverpool. Yeah, just thanks everyone for the likes and interacting and stuff. Like I said, just very briefly, this will be available on YouTube podcast hopefully tomorrow sort of afternoon, and also YouTube video. But I just wanted to leave you quickly with what I've got coming up. So tonight is Toy Short Friday. If you've just subscribed and you don't know what that is, all those toys I've shown you before, about 8 o'clock this evening, there'll be a load of different shorts of toys and stuff that I've seen whilst going around Leeds and Birmingham and Liverpool and Manchester and various places. They're only like 45-second shorts, but when I first started this, like a couple of years back, it wasn't actually meant for toys and stuff. Um, this channel was actually meant for something completely different, but it's morphed into this like weird thing where I end up talking wrestling on football podcasts and vice versa and going to these weird places. But but yeah, I started doing toy shorts. I just thought, well, I'll put a couple on. Didn't think anything of it. And then there was one day I ended up with something like, I don't know, like 30 subscribers and like, it was something mad, like about, I don't know, 2 hours worth of watch time. And I'm kind of sat there, I'm like, huh, that's interesting. So yeah, basically, basically that's where I end up doing that. So yeah, tonight it's Toy Shops Friday. Tomorrow I'll be on for Brentford versus Liverpool live reaction. Like I said, just bear with me on that one. It should be about 11 o'clock, and I kind of combine it with watching Match of the Day. So get a couple of cans in, if you're old enough to drink cans or whatever, blah blah blah. That's not a drinking thing. So yeah, I end up watching Match of the Day and just talking about that, and then doing the Liverpool live reaction. It's usually SmackDown live reaction on Saturday night, but basically whenever Liverpool play on a Saturday night, like they are the next couple of weeks, I end up having to drop the SmackDown because unfortunately I don't have enough time to do both. I'll probably do some reaction SmackDown tomorrow if I can. But basically I have to do SmackDown on the Saturday because of aforementioned young man who wakes up at 6:30 in the morning, which would give me about an hour's sleep. So I'm doing that on Saturday. I'm doing the Liverpool podcast that I usually try and do on Monday. I've actually got the day off, so I should be able to do that live from 1 p.m. I'm hoping to do that. I'm doing the Monday Night Raw wrap up on Tuesday because I also cover Monday Night Raw for the WWE, more WWE sort of crowd. It's usually at 10:30 at night. However, I might have an announcement about that because I'm hoping to watch it live, not as in me watching it live, but I'm hoping to. What are you trying to say, Lil? I'm hoping to watch it live on Netflix, basically, as in as it happens. So I might be able to do the reaction like early doors in the morning, but that would be like 3:30 in the morning UK time. So I haven't decided what I'm doing with that yet. Wednesday, unfortunately, I have the joyous, wondrous thing of live reaction to Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, which we will lose yet again because Crystal Palace are now our social betters who we can't even score a goal against, apparently. Yes, and then I will be back with AEW Dynamite, and this one will definitely be at 10:30 at night, basically. So, usual schedule is there's usually a Liverpool pod on Monday, Monday Night Raw reactions 10:30 Tuesday, AEW live reactions usually 10:30 Thursday. Toy Shots Fridays usually 8 o'clock, usually with a vlog of some weird thing. And also it's usually Friday Night SmackDown late reaction at around 11 o'clock. But if Liverpool playing like they are do, then Liverpool basically take priority over SmackDown, which will either please some people or really annoy people. But yeah, I mean, I have been toying with doing the live SmackDown slash Liverpool reaction live stream, but I think people would just be like, "Dude, what the hell is this?" Basically, but yeah, that's everything I've got coming up, guys. So let me just read these last few questions. Oh, cool. Let me just have a look. LA Knight is long overdue. Yes, absolutely, Finn. Like I said, dude, to be honest, just quickly, I personally would have had Jey Uso against LA Knight, yeah, and I would have put LA Knight over, and I would have had LA Knight because then with the Rawlins injury, none of us knows what's going on. You've got LA Knight who can keep the belt till like a Royal Rumble, and then maybe LA keeps it, maybe he loses it to. Maybe you've got the option of Rawlins coming back. You've then got could Roman Reigns take the belt off him or something on them lines. I don't know, but at least so I'm not calling LA Knight a placeholder. But then if LA Knight does really well with the belt, then you've got the actual option of at least him getting to WrestleMania and then losing the belt in like one of the main events, basically. So that's what I would have done. But Jay versus CM Punk will still be good. Like I said, I am very tempted to watch it live. So, like I said, I might be on live to watch that one. Do I have no, the Kling Mao 5? I wouldn't even know what that is, to be honest. I enjoy drinking Brewdog. I don't know if that's a similar thing. I don't know. If that's a young people thing, I should point out I'm like 45 and I have a son who has to point out these weird things to me. He had to explain to me the other day what. Oh God, what's that thing that he says all the time? He had to explain what the phrase "bro thinks he's an edit" means, and I kind of get it now, but I still also don't get it. I tried to use it in context, and my son was like, "No, Dad, it doesn't mean that. You're so boring." I'm just like, "Oh, well, I don't know." So yes, let me have a look. Am I a gooner? You must be joking, Elliot. I am not a gooner. Although, again, cheap plug. On the Geek Boy Meta channel, there is a live stream vlog of me going around the Emirates. Which I actually went in with a Liverpool Champions of England top. I completely forgot that I was wearing, so that vlog was slightly horrid for fairly obvious reasons. But it's under Geek Boy Does Football if you want to watch it. But no, I respect Arsenal. I'm not like one of these. I don't know where this whole rivalry thing has come from. To be honest, Liverpool and Arsenal have always not liked each other, obviously, but there was always out of the top six, there was always that begrudging respect between the two clubs. Obviously, you had the 1989 thing and so on and so forth. But I think there was always, if you've got something like Man City versus Chelsea, or like a Tottenham versus Arsenal, or I don't know, Newcastle versus Manchester United, or whatever, those will be sides that actually hate each other. Us against Everton, us against Man United, and so on and so forth. But Liverpool versus Arsenal, I didn't think was that bad, and I always had a lot of respect for them. I'm not saying I don't have respect for now. I think Arteta's doing a very good job. I mean, you have to, even as a Liverpool fan, I have to say he's doing brilliant. And are they favourites at the moment right now? I think, unfortunately, from my point of view, they are. I just think at times some of the fans, I'm not saying the main Arsenal fans, I'm not on about the ones who go week in, week out, are entitled to opinion. I'm on about this like whole subset Arsenal fan TV stuff that goes on where just these hysterically inaccurate things are shouted and said, and I'm not a look. You express yourself how you express yourself, whatever you want to, but I'm not a fan of all that. Just like saying there's levels to this and stuff, and Arsenal is so good, and then you're the one guy, and you're not even being sarcastic and saying, "Hi, we've actually just won 8 trophies in 6 years, and your manager's won one." I mean, and that's not me being sarcastic, but I'm just like I don't get what are we talking about, seriously. Anyway, I'm going on a bit of a rant now. Was good family man. How are you? I'm not too bad, thank you. Samarth, yourself, Singh. Where in the city? Where in the UK are you from? I'm from Leeds, sir, in West Yorkshire. What are you guys talking about? We were well. To be honest, Samarth, I'm getting to the end of my live stream, but we have been talking about AEW. Well, I started off talking about AEW, but basically it turned into a Liverpool live stream slash WWE slash comic books slash Landudno slash me showing my toy collection, which is kind of how my channel goes. It's just, it starts off as one thing and ends up in the other. So you can talk to me about whatever you want to, pal. Also, the updog thing is a prank. Ah, okay, fair enough. Cool, I'm with you. Right. Well, in that case, I'm not going to repeat the word, but thank you for the shout out. Cheers, man. Right, dudes. Yeah, I'm going to head off because I've been going for like an hour and a half now. And like I said, I've got a boatload of stuff still to do with filming. Honestly, thank you everyone for interacting today. It's been really, really good. Thank you at the end, Chanakiaks. You can't. Oh, A-Dub. Yes, man. Yes, cool, nice one. Thank you, Sam Arth Singh as well. See you later. Have a good day. You too, my friend. You too. Have a really good day, pal. Yeah, cool. Nice one. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for staying for so long. I've really enjoyed this one, actually. It's been really cool. Like I said, I'll be back on tomorrow at about 11:30 if any of you are Liverpool fans, or if you just want to talk to me about wrestling or horror or anything else like that, you're more than welcome to join. So I'll be on about 11:30 tomorrow night. Right. Thank you guys. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.